Beautiful sunrise here at 4 Pines Hostel coming through this weeping willow tree. There's another weeping willow tree down there by the pond. I'd like to point that out. So the journey begins. Yeah, I gotta hike over 60 miles to get to Glasgow. It's gonna be a tough hike, but I can do it. I've been on that stretch of trail, except for maybe a half a mile or so I'm skipping. Well, maybe not even that much, because I hiked almost to this road crossing and turned around just before I got to it, and I think that's maybe a half a mile to a mile that I skipped, that I'm skipping right now. Which ain't much. Since I'm a section hiker, little pieces like that I don't mind. If I was a through hiker, I'd do my best to get every mile of the trail. Iceman dropped me off, and you know what? Too late now. I said asking how he got his trail name, Iceman. I wish I would ask him that. Let's see here. Fallout Knob Shelter, 3 miles. Road 191, 6 miles. The next 0.6 of trail is on a narrow corridor through private land. That place stay on trail. Ain't too far. I thought one area was back down behind me when this while I was doing my day hiking at 4 Pines. That's why I did not do the trip down the hill to the bigger waterfall, which I knew was there. Okay. I'll just film when I get to really nice spots. There's the sign just past that stretch where the trail goes to all that private farmland. And here I'm on switchbacks. Actually, this ain't so bad. There's a couple stretches between Parisburg and Blaine where it's literally straight up, extremely steep hill to climb. I think when this trail was originally built, most of the ups are straight up. They didn't have the switchbacks like they do now. The Appalachian Trail Conservatory built a lot of switchbacks, makes it easier. I should be near the top because it ain't that much of a climb here. Where I got dropped off, it's like halfway up. So that's a plus. Yeah, I can see, well, no, I can't see the top, never mind. I was about to say I can see the top, but it looks to me like it keeps going. No, now I can see the top. Right over there. I think this stretch I'm not going to do a huge amount of filming, so I'll wait until I get some beautiful scenery. That way I don't have the videos way too long. But now I can see the top. Well, the bright side is most of this stretch I'll be on the next 3 days is somewhat easy. Not a huge amount of ups and downs, so that's a plus. Here is the part of the hike where I get around to the shelter. You literally walk a circle around and you're at the shelter. Which turns out that back in the day that was an old ranger station of some sorts, and there even used to be a fire tower there many years ago. Crazy how there's a fire tower a long time ago. Now it's a shelter for the Appalachian Trail. Talked to somebody who lives here in Virginia most of their life, and they told me a little bit of history there. Apparently through the 40s and 50s, I don't know what year they set it down, but if you look closely, you can see a shelter in the distance. It's actually a beautiful shelter. I did not stay there because it was too early in the hike to stop and set up camp, even though it's a beautiful shelter, a nice location. Make a long story short, I found out during this hike a big chunk of the Blue Woods Parkway is closed at the moment. Like Ian was saying that the Blue Woods Parkway was closed in the area I was in the week I was hiking the trail. But it should be open after August 29th. That stretch will be open again. I'd like to point that out. So if you see this before August 29th this year, remember that. You see it after August 29th, it's open again. I'm back on trail again. Well, once I pass that sign there, I'm back on trail again. The sign down here does not say the miles to the next shelter, so I had to look on the Appalachian Trail app on my phone to see. Shelter 0.1, AT north. AT south, 3.4 miles. Yes, 130 and I covered like 3.5 miles. Of course, I didn't actually get on the trail until at least 11, or close to 11. I didn't pay much. Well, I didn't really pay attention to the time. I know it's after 10 when I officially got on the trail. Then I set the shelter for over an hour, just relaxing. Oh well. Now I have my lunch break and drunk a bunch of water in an energy packet. I can get back on trail again. Here's something interesting I realized. There's a semi-active well line down there. I heard a train go by on it when I was, just before I got to the shelter. I heard like 3 more trains after I got here, because the double track main line apparently is on that side of the mountain, and that little branch line that sees just 3 trains a day, it's on this side of the mountain. Just thought like I'd point that out. Like, of course, most people probably don't care too much, a lot like me when it comes to trains. Just thought it'd be a fun fact to point out. Yep, I'm going down the mountain. Yeah. Oh, okay, the switchback's this way. What's funny is it looks like I'm going towards Roanoke, but the trail really curves and continues going north. Now if I was to go straight east, I'm still, I'd be, well, maybe not, more like a southeast, I can get to Roanoke. Yeah. I think I'll quit filming now because I want to hit a bunch of switchbacks. Save the video clips of the trail for some of the most beautiful areas, or areas like this where you're going up and down the mountain. I think this is the long descent that I was told about that's easy, because I'm going down on the steepest descent on this stretch of the trail. 5.2 miles to Wilson's Creek Shelter. I don't know if that used to be part of the trail or not. Let me see what the sign says. That's clearly blocked off on purpose with a tree. Might be a connector trail. It looks like it's still well hiked, so maybe it's a connector trail to a parking lot or something. I don't know. I know this is the way the Appalachian Trail goes. But only 5 more, well, a little over 5 miles, and I'll be at Wilson's Creek Shelter. Don't know if that's where I'm going to camp tonight. Depends on what time I get there and how much daylight I have left. Put it that way. Salt Pond Road. Very interesting name for a road. Looks to me like it's not traveled well. I want to say it's not traveled much. But maybe it's traveled a little bit by hikers. I don't see a sign down here. There it is. Wilson's Creek Shelter, 3.4 miles. Black Horse Gap, 5.8. I think the shelter is what I'm getting on. Yep, Salt Pond Road. Very interesting. Try to get a picture of the sign. Still got a ways to go. Yeah, it's a net shelter, most likely be where I just call it quits for the day. Because I don't think I'm going to make it all the way. I don't know. If I make it there, there'll be over 11, maybe 12 miles that I've hiked. Of course, I did get a late start. And I hung out at the 4-out knob shelter for like a little over an hour. Oh well. It's easier to enjoy yourself when you're not trying to rush and be fast anyways. I'm starting down the mountain now. Nice, beautiful spot here. Getting more water before I hike into camp. Crazy thing is, I'm trying to film myself filming up the Sawyer Squeeze water bag, only to realize I'm not recording. Oh well. I've ran into 2 people on this hike so far. One yesterday and one today. One person a day. I don't think I have less than 2 miles and I'm at camp. If I don't decide to go to the next spot. I'll make up my mind when I get there. Nice little stream. At least all the streams are flowing here this time. Last year, I was on the stretch south of here and had a extremely difficult time trying to find water. Shelter. Beautiful little stream. Don't know what stream this is. That's the Wilson's Creek Shelter, but Wilson's Creek is a long growth in here because I literally climbed over the mountain to get here. Shelter 0.7. That's what I want to see. See if I got signal and figure out where the next shelter is. Most likely I'll stay this one because I don't feel like hiking more. It's almost 5 o'clock. I think it's time I call it quits for the day. Interesting stretch of trail. You're literally on the ridge line on the top of the mountains. Little ways up and that's a long ways down. Root ball. About to get dark on me. Now these video clips I'm adding to my day 3 part. I'm not even tempted to film through here with my heavy backpack on, because I got to keep my trekking poles and focus very hard on where I'm going. Especially through here, very steep and kind of sketchy. Oh well. This the water source, half a mile from the shelter. Doesn't look very reliable to me. Well, probably is in the spring and fall when you get lots of rain. Maybe this area didn't get the crazy rain for half the summer like we did back where I live. I'm a good ways north of Mount Hope, West Virginia. Here in Virginia. Yeah. out in Woods Gap a few more miles. You can see forever through the mountain range, long ways away. Just for the record, when you hike the trail, depending on where you're at, you're never far from anything. Well, you might be far from towns and cities in some stretches, but the valleys usually have farms and farmland and stuff like that. I might have to turn around, get ready for bed and get me a good night's sleep. If I can sleep good tonight, I'm so close to the Blue West Parkway. Yes, in case anybody's wondering, I could have made it. I was only like another 2.5 miles and I got to the shelter around 5, but somebody else is there and I'm enjoying having the company. Of course, then a second person showed up, so 3 of us staying at the shelter and the company is nice. Okay, okay, enough video clips, I'm gonna turn around. The trail just keeps going and wrapping around. Probably have to bunch of uphill climb there in the next little bit, I'm sure. Then again, the trail might just follow and keep going through there. But it looks to me like it's going to wrap around and go up. Then again, I might be wrong and it might just follow this ridge line like this. Oh well. Get back to the shelter and actually get comfortable and get some sleep. Yeah.